listening to Everyday Engineering, the City of Madison's engineering podcast where we talk about infrastructure. Complex topics explained simply, from the water that flows down your drain to the rain and snow that drains into the lakes. By way the curbs and streets we design. City engineering touches your life in so many ways. Explained right now in Everyday Engineering. Otters, geese, frogs, fish. The next time you step over a storm drain in the city of Madison, it may have one of these critters on it. Here to explain about the program Raising Awareness for Stormwater Management is City of Madison Engineering Division Stormwater Engineer Phil Gaebler and Dane County Land and Water Resources Department Stormwater Education Coordinator Christal Campbell. Thank you both for being here.
Hi, Hannah.
Thank you.
Are you ready to talk Storm Drain Murals? This is really a cool program. So when I was listing those animals, though, a moment ago, it really actually means the murals. So the Storm Drain Mural Program is a creative way to get people to kind of pay attention to stormwater drains and where the stormwater goes, right? And where did this idea come from?
It's not a new idea. It's actually, there's storm drain mural programs throughout the country. A bunch of cities, villages, and towns have them. And we just wanted to start a program here in Dane County.
It's kind of fun. Yeah.
And while it's not new nationally, it's new in Dane County.
Mm-hmm.
And Christal brought that here. So that this is something that she found out on the wonderful internet and brought to our community.
On the interwebs. I mean, like when you were looking for it, though, I mean, you saw this idea. Why do you think it's working here?
Oh, well, I think storm drains are kind of invisible. Normally, that's how they're designed to be invisible. People don't really pay attention to where their water goes, and we want to make them visible, and this is one way to do that.
And we used to have a program where oftentimes a group that wanted to do something helpful for the community would go out and they would put either a stencil, like they'd paint something on there, or like just on the casting itself, or they would glue on this little 4-inch diameter sticker that says it drains to the lake. Don't put nasty stuff down here. And inevitably, that thing would then pop off and become the garbage you were hoping to prevent from going in the lake, which is a little counterintuitive.
Right.
It doesn't always happen, but they're also not that visually like striking. So they were pretty easy to ignore.
Right. And we'll go more into them and what they look like, but just for anyone listening, if you've never seen them, they're colorful murals around the actual storm drains on the ground, on concrete, cement, sidewalks, things like that. So they're really, really cool, and we'll get into more in just a moment. But you know, the program spans the whole county. There's murals in Stoughton, Wanakee, Sun Prairie, Middleton. Of course, I'm not listing them all. How do you select where the murals happen?
So the program is open to municipalities, communities, and school groups within Dane County, but we do prioritize applications from groups that are within our Madison area municipal stormwater partnership areas and municipalities, and also in areas that we don't have many storm drain murals yet. So I should also mention that we work closely with the groups in the municipalities to select the locations. So for this program, we're looking for storm drains that are in areas with a lot of foot and bike traffic, and also near public spaces like parks and schools. And the storm drains also have to have a paved apron above the drain rather than a grassy area so that we can paint directly up to that storm drain. I hope apron is the right term. Maybe not.
Based on what Christal just mentioned about like where or how they're kind of deciding, what has your involvement been when it comes to choosing for the city?
So I get to be the screener, shall we say. So we have a checklist of about 10 things that we go through to make sure that we're putting our murals in a place that has been approved by all the agencies that they intersect with. So we aren't going to put these on really busy roads because we don't want them to be a distraction and maybe cause an accident. We also have, on many of our residential streets where we have those low traffic volumes, we don't have any concrete. We have grass between the inlet and the sidewalk. And so sometimes I coordinate with our staff and we'll actually pour a canvas of concrete, I like to call it. It feels a little counterintuitive to add a little impervious area to then advertise about protecting water, but I can let that slide and sleep just fine at night. So I go through and coordinate those things, and then we have usually a decent list, and we kind of whittle them down and get 2 or 3 a year that we can actually install them.
Do you know where the latest one was in the city?
So I think the last one we painted was out at the Spring Harbor Middle School. I think it's Spring Harbor
We have
Middle
not
School.
painted that one yet. We are going to paint that one. We were going to, and then there were some obstacles, COVID.
And then there's one out at Warner Lagoons. And that is one where we had a street reconstruction project out there. And I said, aha, we have somebody pouring concrete, poured a little canvas. Now it's ready to get painted.
Perfect.
That one was painted yesterday. Brand new.
Awesome. We'll have to get out there and check it out. That's just one or a few of, at last I counted on the website, and maybe, it's around this number, 43 different murals.
Yes, we have 43, and we're currently that are painted. And then we have another 3, now actually 2 that we're going to add this summer. So one of them was Warner Park.
And they're so pretty. They really are. They're colorful. They have little animals on them. They're so community friendly. With they really do catch your eye when you're walking by. And the design. Let's talk into what we're seeing. So who decides the design? Who decides that?
The applicants have kind of their choice. So applicants can pick from a catalog of pre-made designs, but we really encourage groups to take part in the design process and provide ideas. So our artist then will incorporate the ideas that group comes up with, and then she'll create a couple unique designs based off of their design ideas, and then they get to choose from those.
You can't just pick anything to put on there.
No.
I'm assuming, there's the guidelines and things like that. Who paints them? Who paints the murals?
So we have one artist now that is our primary painter, and we have worked with DAMA, Dane Arts Mural Association in the past. Mural Arts, sorry, in the past, and they coordinated with multiple artists, and now we just have one artist who's doing all of our painting, Sonia, and they've been great so far, and really appreciative of her work.
How long do they last? They are outside. It does rain and it snows. How long do they last? Do we have to repaint them?
We do. And I kind of wanted to back up to the last question because so the artist does help paint them, but we really encourage the groups to get involved in the painting too. So
what
you
groups?
Kind of have your choice. The applicants.
So that could be
a community group, a neighborhood association. It could be lots of school groups. It's a great project for schools to get involved with. And a lot of times the main artist, Sonia, or when we worked with DAMA in the past, Dane Arts Mural Arts, they kind of take the lead and coordinate all that. And they do paint, but they get the kids involved and those groups involved as well. And a lot of people take advantage of that.
So a lot of planning, decisions, a process. We'll talk about the process a little later. That's a tease. But, a lot of work goes into planning each of these. How long do they last?
They can last anywhere between what we're seeing as like 2 and 4 years, even longer. It really kind of depends on the location and how much foot traffic and bike traffic. There's maybe salt applied. That'll wear off on the paints. But we have seen some that have lasted even longer. And we do try to offer repaints for those just to keep them looking nice. And we have been able to offer those for ones that are, looking a little shabby. And
little touch-up.
Right.
Needs
little
a touch-up.
We have a few of those this year, and we hope to continue to be able to offer that as long as we have budget to do so.
And so this year, my 3-year-old and I, she was homesick. And so I was like, well, she's sniffly. So we took a tour of all the Storm Drain murals.
You did?
And we assessed their paint status. And so that was a fun afternoon project for us. And we went, and most of them looked pretty good. Even some of the ones that were 4 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
and then
great.
A few were in pretty rough shape. If you have newer concrete, sometimes the paint doesn't stick as well. And also just that foot and shovel and salt applications. So we have a few that are going to get retouched up this year, which will be nice. And I will say that our shortest lived one was 1 week.
We should bring
We
that
put
one
one on the Capitol Square and didn't notify everybody. And our graffiti action team came out and pressure washed it off as soon as we put it down. So we did a pretty quick repaint on that one.
Sure.
That's the muskie that's in front of over by the Old Fashioned.
Oh,
so if you
okay.
see that one, that's its second iteration.
If you see the muskie, I feel like we should name the muskie, but if you see the muskie, take a selfie and send it to us, engineer@cityofmadison.com. Love that. You mentioned about doing the tour of all of them. It'd be really great to see more people taking advantage of this really cool map that we have online. There's a really cool map on ripple-effects.com. You can click on the Storm Drain Mural Program tab underneath there. You can click on them. It's a whole map that shows all the different locations. And then when you click on it, there's photos of the actual murals. And it's really fun. You can obviously use your smartphone. You're out there. That'd be like a fun Saturday thing to do and kind of cruise around, see what if the kids can find it. That is a fun idea. The map is key on this. How did that come to be?
Well, I just think we wanted to showcase the locations and get people out there looking for them. I mean, they are in pretty neat locations. We purposely try to have them in, high foot traffic areas, near public spaces, libraries, kind of downtown areas where they're going to get a lot of visibility. So the map was just a way to, if you don't live in that community, we wanted to showcase all the really great art that's out there and all the ideas, because again, a lot of these ideas and the designs, some were just the artist's design, but a lot of input and thought went into a lot of these. And so those that actually paint it, really take ownership. And, especially the school groups, I hear all the time that like, oh, I took my parents out here. And, so we just want to get people to look at it and notice it.
I would be interested to hear, be a fly on the wall, to hear when people are deciding what to put on it. I don't know if you've heard any of those conversations of any of the groups being like, we want otters, or we want duckies, or we want fishies, or we want what. I don't know if you've heard any of that or have any, heard any of that.
So
thought process.
The process is we normally we work with a group, we do a presentation. So we kind of customize a presentation or activity to suit that age group or that, whoever we're working with. And we kind of walk them through the design process. And especially when we're working with little kids, they just automatically want to put dolphins and whales and octopus. And we talk about what type of species we have here in Wisconsin and what we're trying to protect. So
there's no octopus down there.
Not that I know of.
Yeah.
No, Phil?
I don't think there's a freshwater octopus.
Not a freshwater.
Freshwater jellyfish. There's such a thing.
That's so much fun, though. I bet they have fun talking it out and deciding and all the things. And then seeing it out there. How can people get involved? That is the big, we've talked about the process and the applicant process. But yes, there's an application process. What does that look like? And when does that open? Every year?
Sure. So the applications are normally available in early December and they're due in February. We do encourage applicants to reach out to us early if they're interested, because as Phil kind of alluded to, it takes some time to find a suitable location that meets all the requirements. So again, it can't have like a grassy area above. It has to have some type of pavement above so that we can paint directly up to the storm drain. We want it in a certain location that's highly visible, so we get the biggest bang for our buck. And then we also work very closely with the municipality. We can't just have people going to paint, anything and everything on these. It's part of a process and it's a program. So we don't want people going out and painting on their own. But we need to have municipalities help us with those locations and find locations, especially near areas like the applicant areas that we don't want them, they obviously want something in their neighborhood or near their school. So, but the municipality just have to sign off on it. And then once the application is accepted, we schedule a time to give a presentation like I talked about. And depending on the age of the group, we, again, customize that. Usually in March and April is when we do that. And then we walk through the design process, collect design ideas, and then our artist that we're working with collects those design ideas and comes up with a couple of unique options like I mentioned. And then the groups get to choose from them, and painting usually takes place in kind of May through July, with priority given to kind of the school groups so they can do that before the end of the school year.
And the application, is it long? Is it one page? Is it pretty simple?
No, doesn't take long. No, it's pretty basic information. Asking, again, they have the option whether they want to pick from a pre-made design or get
Sure.
involved with the design process. And then kind of the big part that, again, takes a long time is just coordinating the location and finding a good location. So the earlier the better for applications.
Painting costs, mural cost, like how much do people, when they apply, should they plan to pay something? How does that all work?
Nope, the costs are completely covered. So the artist's costs and then the materials, the paint costs are completely covered by Dane County Land and Water, and then also Land and Water Resources Department, and also the Madison Area Municipal Stormwater Partnership. So there's no cost to the applicant.
Winning all around. Why is this important? I think from our perspective, Phil, like, why do something like this? Especially if we say that they last, I mean, hopefully longer than 4 years. And we have proof that they do last for, according to you. And was it Emma that went? Yeah. Yes. To rate all the painting and the fading. But why do things like this? Why? It's creative. It's fun. We know we need to put storm drains in the city if we reconstruct or replace them and things like that. But why do something fun like this?
I think part of it is a lot of people don't know that water goes into our lakes, right? They're like, oh, street water is dirty. Of course we wouldn't put it into our lakes. We'd send it to the wastewater treatment plant. And that isn't the case in communities like Madison that have separate storm sewers. We also have people that have moved from places that may have had combined sewers. And if you have a combined sewer, right, all of the water goes to the wastewater treatment plant.
All meaning?
Toilet water and water from your shower and water that runs off the street all goes in the same pipe.
Inside and outside water, we call it.
And if you're in a situation like that, right? If you pour dirty water down your street drain, is going to the wastewater treatment plant and being treated just as if you poured it in the slop sink in your home. So
Slop sink.
the basement utility sink, is that a better word?
No, I think that's pretty accurate. It's the slop sink.
Yeah. So I think there's this education piece that we need to be careful what goes down the storm drain. We only want rainwater going down the storm drain. We don't want people dumping things and having a false understanding that it's getting treated in some way. Mm-hmm. And even if it goes through a detention basin, most of the things that are going to be dumped down, somebody would dump like a cleaning product or something like that, it doesn't really get broken down in a detention basin. You need to have the highly engineered processes at the wastewater treatment plant to really break those products down.
Mm-hmm. So that's the why.
That's
the why for stormwater. Why is it important to do something creative like this in the city? For our city? Because there are other municipalities probably doing this, obviously for the help of stormwater quality and that sort of thing. But why do something fun like this?
I think that's it, right? It's fun. It makes a walk with your kids more interesting. It makes a walk for anybody more interesting. You see something like, you ask the question, why did somebody paint that there? Then maybe you lead yourself down a path of learning about stormwater a little bit. It grabs your attention, right? Mm-hmm. If you're not excited about something, you're not going to learn. So this can hopefully get somebody excited about at least the picture.
Yeah.
Maybe the picture and stormwater. And then it's a win-win. It's a lot more exciting than the imprint on our castings. If you do look close, right, this is the other part of the scavenger hunt you could have if you did a scavenger hunt, is find a casting that says drains to lake and then find the mural. And I bet people will see a lot of castings that says drains to lake and realize that they'd never noticed that it's on there before.
Well, if you do, take a photo and send it to engineer@cityofmadison.com. That's your homework. Oh, anything else? Otherwise, thank you both. This is great. This was good. What a fantastic program. Of course, we are not alone in this. There are other municipalities taking part in this county program. What a cool way to get out, learn, again, because it's fun, says Phil and Emma. Thank you both for being here. For anyone listening, if you have any more questions about this topic, anything else you want us to chat about, click over to our City of Madison Engineering Division Facebook page, because we're here for you as a resource every day in engineering.